Hi, welcome to Common Running Mistakes. I'm Melody here with Dr. Cameron Garber. Today we're talking about recovery, specifically after a hard effort. So a hard effort, that could mean just a really intense week of training, or maybe you just finished a race where you went all out. So to begin this topic, I have a little story. I did the David Goggins 4x4x48 challenge a couple weeks ago. So that's where you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, and you end up running 48 miles in 2 days. Because we had so much recovery time in between every effort, and because we just wanted every run to get done as soon as possible, we hit every run like pretty hard. Yeah, harder than we usually do. And we also kind of wanted to see like how fast we could do it each time.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was a hard effort, and I did this with my husband, we did not recover very well at all. It was his birthday before this happened, and then my birthday afterwards, and so we're like totally in birthday mode, like eating all the junk food. And,
Right.
And then we went on vacation, and so we're like, we're on vacation, calories don't count, so we're like eating all the junk food, and we're hardly sleeping. We went camping, so you're not sleeping very well on the hard ground. And most of the time, I feel like after an effort like this, if I was taking care of myself the way I usually do take care of myself, I'd feel fine right now. It's been about week and a half, and I feel terrible because I ate horribly. I did not sleep right. I'm getting the niggles. I have some, things are just hurting, and I'm not running where I usually am running at.
Yeah.
And I know it's because I did not recover very well.
Isn't that interesting how those little things add up? Just from one little, tweak. Well, it was a harder effort, so like a higher intensity effort for a sustained period of time. So that definitely puts you at increased risk of having things kind of go sideways or whatever. But at the same time, she's built up her resilience really well. Like you can run 100 miles and things like that. So in some ways it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing to do. That's a fine effort to train for and to do. It just now, the making sure that you take care of that on the recovery side is equally important. So the training and lead up and performing well on that day is important. But the way you recover, I would say, is equally important if you want the next couple of weeks or months or whatever to go well as well.
Yeah, and I think this is a common running mistake because so many people think I just did it, I ran my marathon and now it's time to celebrate and I don't have to take care of myself anymore and I'm going to stay up late and party with friends and eat all the junk food and do all these things that you weren't doing before in training.
Right.
But the thing is, you need to be doing what you're doing in training to take care of yourself times 10 after that.
Yeah, because you just had the biggest effort, usually bigger than any of your training runs. Your race day was like a harder, bigger, longer effort than any of those training runs. And so after a training run, you normally do this, and this to be able to get back as quickly as possible for your next workout. And after a race, sometimes we I have a triathlete friend that his big thing is he always goes and grabs the biggest burger in whatever town he's in and a beer. And it's I get it. Sounds awesome.
Wonderful.
Right. But may not be the best recovery strategy, right? And so there's definitely some room for that, I think. At the same time, making sure you follow up, not just with the burger and the beer, but with some other good recovery type strategies to make sure that you're properly hydrating, properly fueling your body, and making sure you're taking adequate active rest and active treatment if need be to recover well. I think is equally important to how you did all that stuff leading up to the training and the event.
Yeah, for sure. Something that's interesting, if you listen to our podcast, it's called, what did we just name it? Running Unbroken.
We switched the name because we like the theme that all the different topics have kind of led into this one theme of, even if you have some major setback in your life, you don't have to stop running and you can run unbroken. So we switched the name to Running Unbroken.
Check it out. But we interviewed Mike McKnight, and I thought what he said was really interesting. He said that when he stopped eating carbs and he started taking care of himself really well after his races, he said his recovery time is hardly... he can jump right back now.
Ditching those refined carbohydrates made such a difference in his ability to recover. Eating real foods seems to make a big difference. That's weird. I've never heard somebody say that before. Anyway, but yeah, really fascinating how ditching those refined carbohydrates really made such a difference for him. And so he calls himself the low carb runner because he eats very little almost no refined carbs, but very little or very calculated carbs when he carbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he does a very good job at balancing that for his life. And it has helped him in a lot of ways in his recovery and training. So.
For sure. And there's another piece of advice. Maybe like low carb isn't what is best for you, but just play around with different things. Maybe play around with low carb and just see like what is best for your body and how can you take care of your body so your recovery time is less and less.
Right. Yeah. Not necessarily a plug for the low carb lifestyle, but that works for him. And so it's finding for you, like, if eating a bolus of carbs, right after a run or race or whatever helps you recover faster, then great, do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, do you have anything else you want to add on that topic?
No. So I totally agree. And Melody's case is a pretty common one, to be honest. It's a common thing that we see, either people like do 2 races back to back, or things like that, where they have either a harder effort or they have their speed work day and then their friend invites them out to a run. And so they go and run at the pace of the group of, whoever they went with. And so now they have 2 hard efforts back to back, making sure then that you take adequate time to recover, things like that when you do have harder efforts, you're giving yourself adequate time to recover and not just like going right into your long run then that next day. Maybe taking time and shifting when you do your long run or something like that. Making sure you take that adequate recovery really is going to be important to keeping you healthy and on the road, which is what we love to do here at Body Smart. So that is a common running mistake we see, just not taking that adequate recovery.
For sure. And just quick side note, it still is okay to celebrate after your race. Eat a piece of chocolate cake, but then go to bed early and get back on the health train the next day.
Right. You can still celebrate though.
Yeah. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, and share this to somebody who you think could use this tip. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.